This is Marc Tobias in Murano, Italy, and I'm at the Estevan Rossetto glass factory that's been here for 600 years.
Well, yes, okay.
And I'm speaking with Roberto Lorenzen and Doriana Furlan. And Doriana, your father was a very famous artist, yes?
Yes.
Who worked with some other very famous artists.
Yes.
Who is?
Picasso.
Picasso. I think everybody knows Picasso. So I'd like to follow up on an article that I wrote 3 years ago with regard to the problem of duty and what the consumers that are buying expensive pieces, not the inexpensive pieces, should know as far as what the vendor side of the equation should provide. Because I had a problem going back and forth on some art that I bought because the United States Customs would not accept the declaration. So could you cover, basically, our customs law exempts original art into the United States from duty.
We can do that, for sure.
Yes.
For sure, that there is an official office in Venice where we declare the pieces as art pieces, and that's what we do. Then, when the pieces arrive to the customs, sometimes there are some people who misunderstand that, but we declare in the right way.
Yes, and you go to the embassy to do that?
Embassy.
Yes.
And so they certify it.
We take a photo of the piece, dimension, description, regarding all the story of this piece, the name of the glass artist, the invoice as the payment you made. We go to the embassy, is a special commercial chamber, and they see, they check, and then they issue an official document, and we send to the custom, to your custom, together with the invoice. Also, we will mail to our client email address a copy of it, so he can have
For tracking.
Yes,
Right,
when the custom asks him, he already has any document, and so they can do it.
Check.
They
So-
can check, and they decide how much is the duty, if there is a duty. We don't know, because this depends.
See, normally he doesn't have to pay duty because it's an art
Normally
piece.
they don't pay, but we don't know. We don't know any government in the world.
Well, the state governments charge,
Normally it's a 6%.
it's 6%,
Yes.
it's called
But
use
in this
tax.
case, when
Yes.
it's an art piece declared and everything, doesn't have to be done.
Right.
It
You
should
know,
be
it's
for
not
free,
our-
but we really don't know, because we know in Italy how it is, but all over the world can be different, and so.
So if you're buying a piece of art from the consumer side, what do they need to tell the vendor
They need
to make certain that they don't have a
For the
problem?
declaration
to ask
about the
official
art.
declaration, work of art, official declaration, not just a piece of paper, but with the visa made by the official office, and that's all.
But you
And
will see.
any certification with a photo, anything. This is very important, just to have a correct duty in case,
And what constitutes an original work of art?
the original work of
The name
art.
of the
Yes.
artist,
Yes.
who is the artist, because if you buy something downstairs to the souvenir area, we cannot declare it as a piece of art. It's a handmade piece made by good people, good employers, but not names like her father.
Just
And an original piece of art means that it's original.
Sure, it doesn't have
There's
to
not
be an
100 of them
imitation.
made.
In that case, the ones you bought, you have also a seal who represent another
pieces,
guarantee.
unique pieces.
Right.
And what should come with the piece of art? In this case, magnificent glass works.
For example, you have also the painting, the water painting, as you saw.
Right.
Let me show you. This is another thing which is beautiful, I think, where you have a water painting of what you both, and to the back side you have the biography of the artist with a photo of his father, okay, and signature.
And what kind of seals do you put on the
And
artwork?
you can see on the piece, it's
The
an
original
F.
seal made in the factory.
It's registered.
Made by the glass master.
This is the seal
It's not a seal. It's
It's
not
like a seal.
label. It's made
in glass.
in the oven.
Yes. And then, so it can't be erased.
No, of course.
And you also have the purchaser initial the piece so that they know when they receive it that it's the same piece that they purchased.
Yes.
You sign the piece.
Yes.
Did you sign it
Yes,
somewhere?
yes.
And then you can cancel when
Here
you
you
receive.
can, if you wanna.
Yeah, no, it's okay, but
You signature.
so there's a
No
signature,
way exactly to.
You're sure to receive.
and then you take care of the insurance and the shipping.
Right.
And you normally ship by DHL or FedEx?
Depends by the state.
Okay.
Because
We have-
sometimes it's better DHL,
Yes,
sometimes.
depends on-
But what we have is, which is the company? Esper Shipping.
Shipping is
Esper
a
Shipping
local.
Common is a local, and then they distribute in the
Right.
right.
We
Okay.
have the
Always
three.
private.
We have sea freight,
Yeah.
air freight, inland freight. The three kind of transportation we use for this to USA because we come to your home door, and so we cross the lagoon. We cross by
The
air,
lagoon, you mean
and
the
then-
ocean.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then
We have many.
by inland, just
Right.
inland, just to your home. So
Right.
the professional packaging as well
Yeah.
must
Also,
be
exactly.
very
We use machine
very
with foam,
safe.
special foam.
And then they have, the recipient has 8 days under your insurance policy?
Yeah.
Yes.
When
To
you receive,
inspect
you have
and make
8
sure
days
there's
of
no
time
damage.
to open the box and to check.
And if there's a problem, who do they notify?
Use
By email, photo of the broken piece, and
I see.
replace.
and broken piece and the packaging as well.
I see,
Just
okay.
showing if there are some.
And so what do you do with a unique piece? How do you replace it if it's damaged?
Exactly. We need to, or what we can do, we give the money back.
Or if you
or
want another piece,
it must be made by your brother.
yes, sure. But anyway,
It's
if
still
you
in the
don't
family.
want the money
Still in the
back,
family.
Right.
you know.
Okay. And
Or
just
something else.
just as a personal question, how was it growing up
The brother.
with your family in the glass blowing art
This is a
business?
personal answer.
So I was born with the
With the glass.
inside the glass, inside the oven.
But you know, I think that happened always the same thing, you know, because I tell you, I live in Venice, okay, and I live every day, so for me it's a normal thing to walk on the street, no cars, you know, it's a special way to live. You know what? Sometimes people ask me, you know, how you live in Venice in a great way, but you know, when I understand that I live in a special place, when I go out and I come back after a month. And they say, my God, Venice is so special. You know, it's the same thing with the glass. You know, we live inside the glass.
Yes.
Every day we see
Yeah.
the master working. And for us, it looks
It's
like
normal.
a normal
normal
thing,
working,
you know?
environment,
But when we
yeah.
concentrate and we say, my God, we are in a special place.
Yes.
We do special things, you know. We need to think about that. Because for us, it's normal. I told you, just 1 year ago, I used to say hello to his father every day on the road. you
Yeah.
know.
The fourth
And it was
grade.
so normal for me, but it's something so special for you. You know,
Yeah.
that's the difference. For us, it's normal to live with Walter Forlan, with Pino
Yeah.
Signoretto, with
Because we
so
meet,
many artists.
We meet them every day.
Yeah.
So it's a
It's normal for us.
And this is a cooperative of 12
12
different art
12
groups.
different cooperation, sure. We all cooperate, you know, because it's not possible to be separate, you know. When you come in the island, you are in a family.
Yeah.
You know, we are all together. In fact, sometime For example, it's a stupid thing, but if we don't have this piece now and we need it straight away because people want to carry with, we go to the other company
Right.
to ask a piece, you know. So there is no competition. We are all together because the masters are the same. We are all together. It's a beautiful thing.
And do you sell to studios or
Sure,
studios
also.
all around the
Sure.
world?
Now I tell you, if you are in time, I don't know because you have to go, and you know. But if you come with me later, we can have an aperitif with Giuliano Ballarin, you know, which is another
yes,
great artist.
yes.
I met him every day in bar
Yeah.
because we met them every day. He showed me proud. Look what I do this morning, you know, with
Yeah.
Giuliano. So you know, I stay with a master, a famous master.
Yeah.
Every day to drink an aperitif. For me, it's normal.
And we have a very
When he-
famous artist, Chihuly.
Chihuli, we know
Chihuli.
him. We know him. Ecco, for example, he's a great artist because it's an artist. But talking about ability, so making techniques, you know, he really has a basic work, colors, you know, mixed colors, but
Artist.
not as such. It's not
an
as such.
artist.
Yes, it's an artist because he's crazy. Because he makes a painting with you know, with how do you call that? You see, my English is
The
limited.
road.
See, like
A
esatto,
broom.
esatto,
Yeah.
I know that because you see, for example, I have another friend who is a master, and he told me that because he went to an exposition, you know, and he tell me I saw Chihuli making a painting in this way, you know, and it's so crazy because he asked $50,000 for something like that, you know, and my friend goes there to teach people work in glass and saying, oh, you know, he can have 50,000 for just something like that. I work all day long in the fire,
Yeah.
you know, and I cannot ask that much, you know, because why? Because we have such big competition one each other.
Yeah.
He is alone in the States, so he can ask any price.
Yeah.
Here we have the master, one better than the other one, but they cannot ask much more than somebody else because you know,
Yeah.
you must be in a layer. So.
So what haven't I asked you regarding what the consumer ought to watch for when they're buying?
You know, I don't understand the question.
What is there anything else that I should ask you that the consumer that comes to Italy to buy glass should know?
What they have to know. Well, what they have to know.
What they should be careful
First
about.
of all, first of all, to buy the things in Murano, to the right places. Not, for example, in town where
Everything is marked
you
up
can
to
have
start
much
with,
more
yeah.
troubles. Yeah, I don't want to talk about now. It's an
Right.
interview. I don't like to talk about bad
Yeah.
to somebody else. Okay, but if you want to have a guarantee, you have to come where the glass born. For example, now you have in front of you the daughter of the artist.
Yeah.
Can happen in a
Yeah.
shop in town. You understand?
Yeah.
So you come in Murano and you stay with us. You start. If you stay a little more, you can maybe meet somebody else.
Right.
You can, you know. But this is the place where the glass born. Now, town, you find many bad surprises, especially in this last time. Chinese, fake, Brazil glass, sold like Murano glass. So, well, you have the newspaper in front of you. You look,
Yeah.
you just read this one, just to look. 11 million pieces.
Yeah.
See, fake.
Yeah.
Glass made in Brazil, sold
Yeah.
like Murano glass.
Yeah.
We cannot do that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's our reputation is more important
Yeah.
than many.
Well, I thank you very much. It's
You
a pleasure meeting you.
absolutely welcome.
And
It's a
it was a
pleasure for
lovely
us.
day to be here.
And we hope to see many people coming to visit us, to asking about Doriana and Roberto. And it would be a pleasure to treat you in a good way like we do with
Yeah.
you.
Thank you very much.
You're
It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.